I'm your son, nephew, young man. Let me holler at you. Each year, one way or another, in all of my classes dealing with career studies or career education, there's a unit that focuses on learning about yourself. For a young person, it might be uninteresting or boring, or it may not make sense. I think people in America have problems with things that actually help them being quote unquote boring to them anyway. But that's a personal problem. Look, you have to understand your strengths so you can make your career path to fall in line with what you're able to do. There's a difference between an interest and an aptitude. There's also a difference between people who can drive and people who can't. Anyway, an interest is something you want to do. An aptitude is something you're good at or able to do. Look, I used to want to play basketball, but I'm 5'10" and I like to eat. That's a bad combination. I should have played football, but I chose my interest over my aptitude, and I missed my blessing. No matter. Now, as we get older, hopefully we're getting serious about some type of career path or some type of business. But if you're a person who doesn't like to talk a lot, you can't be in a field that requires you to be around people all the time. You don't get to choose how it works. So any type of public service where you have to deal with the public or work in teams with other employees in any type of setting, that may not be what you want to do. If you're not a numbers person, you don't need to be an accountant. I have so many kids who say they want to go into nursing and engineering, but they don't have the math aptitude and don't want to put the work in to improve in that area. Now, make no mistake about it. None of this replaces good old-fashioned hard work, putting in the effort, making the right grades, studying the right material. You still got to do the work. But what you don't want to do is go to college and end up having to change your major because you chose a major that didn't fit you well. So my goal as an educator is to try to get my students to understand as much about themselves as possible before we proceed into any more career studies. What also goes with this assignment is the students have to actually speak on their strengths and weaknesses. When you know something, you can talk about it, or at least that's the way it should be. I'm going to post a link to my example of how such a presentation would go. If you find it useful or you think you might find that useful, you're welcome to take a look at it. Otherwise, just understand, know yourself so you can cater to your strengths and avoid your weaknesses or improve upon your weaknesses. And as always, never lose the will to win and never lose the will to survive.